I'm digging this. Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion, and this here is chapstick. This is actual chapstick, vanilla mint. I call this channel the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube. The crazy, because sometimes I'm wacky. The crazy, enjoying the videos I do. And for you, if you do videos, enjoying the videos you do, enjoying the channels that you watch. The troll part is not caring too much about what the beauty community's standards are. You set the standard for yourself. Try not to feel like you need to use a particular brand or a particular tool or even a particular technique. Use whatever you want to use to get your makeup on in a way that you're satisfied with it. So that's the troll part, because sometimes you may feel like you need to do what people are saying to do and you really don't. And so that is what the Crazy Troll Nation is about, because beneath all of that, here we believe in self-acceptance and self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even without face paint on. I do use foul language on my channel sometimes because I curse in real language sometimes, and so I hope that it's not offensive. If it does offend you, you have been warned. So the way this video is going to go, there will be timestamps below. I'm going to use two different foundations, the same brand, just different shades. And I've always said I can use either shade year round. I just may or may not need to use a bronzer. I haven't really had a lot of sun in the last 3 years. Today is May 8th. No, it's not. Today is May 5th, 2023. And so I'm just curious of what both of these shades will look like on me right now. I did put the pumps in them, but I haven't actually pumped any out. And when I did foundation swatches, I took a swatch from the wand. I didn't actually still pump it out. So that's the first part of this video, is we're going to see what these foundations look like. And we're going to zhuzh it up if we need to. So I have out two separate brushes. This is the one I just used for the primer. That was a Milk primer. And so we're going to jump into what these foundations look like. Also, I think I'm going to do a look with the Fenty Provence palette also, because I'm on the fence about whether or not to keep it. And the POA says it's good till August this year. So we're still about 3 months away. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 3 months away. But I'm just not gravitating to it. And when I looked back over pictures of the looks I've done with it, I was like, these are nice, but they weren't calling to me. And so I will show you what the palette looks like now in case you do just want to jump to it. It's this palette here, and it is light shades in this palette. And one of the looks I did, Dawn asked me to compare it to the 669 palette, and I know that because the note is here, and it says, wow, she requested this September 10th, 2022. I'm sorry, July 10th, 2022. But this is what it looks like. And when you look at 669, let me pull that out really quick. I'm just like, girl. But I know, I understand why she said that. It was the look that I did. So this is Fenty Provence. This is 669 palette. And the look I did was with these two rows. And so just looking at these two rows, okay, you may be able to get a similar look, because you have blacks in here. You have a purple actually right here. This shade can be a deeper shade to this one beneath it. Yes, I see what she was saying, but overall, this is not dupes. Yes, you may get close to the look, but these palettes are definitely not dupes. And when I see videos when they're duping a look from palette to palette, if you look at the entire palette, though, it's not a dupe. But if you're just going to gravitate to certain shades, then yes, it's a dupe. To me, is when an entire palette dupes another palette, or is very similar. And so, but I see what she was saying. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm wondering, like, if I want to try to dupe out that look, but then it would only be just that look with just those few shades. And then you still have all of this here that has nothing at all to do with 669. So yeah, Dawn, so we're not going to do that because it would just be a look. And so I do hope you understand that. and that you're not offended or thinking I'm not adhering to your request from like almost a year ago. And yeah, this is really the note I wrote it on. And so let's get into the foundations. We're going to be using both Estee Lauder foundations. This is 4W1. Is it upside down? Of course it is. This is the 4W1 Honey Bronze. This is 4N2, which is Spiced Sand. The W means this is warm. The N and this means it's neutral. And yeah, you see my labels all over it. This is what they look like. 4W1, 4N2. So, and I have the warm on that side and this one on this side so that I don't confuse my darn self. And I saw a short of someone. This foundation does not come with a pump. It retails for $43. I only get them on sale. The POA is 24 months. And I do, even if I have both of these open, I do use them both up within the 24 months. And that's one of the reasons I love this foundation. On top of, I can use either one all year round. One of them I may or may not need a bronzer or a contour, which is fine. I don't have to mix. I don't have to do a bunch of stuff. But someone did a short, taking this out of the box, unscrewing the lid, and this is the pump. Estee Lauder sells a pump for $10, and it's the same size pump that you can buy from MAC. And so they did a short unscrewing the cap on the foundation, putting the pump in, and then putting the cap here and saying it doesn't fit. Of course it doesn't fit, because the cap covers this part, not all of this. However, it has a mechanism on here. I don't know if you can see that little swoosh. If you turn it a certain way, how it is now, it will not pump. It locks it. You have to turn it to unlock it. And not only that, but the pump comes with a cover. So you turn this to lock it and you put the cover on it, it's not going to pump. So what's the big deal about the cap not fitting? And if you don't want to have the pump, just use a Q-tip or a spatula or something and just dig some out. But I saw that short and I'm like, there's a double mechanism to make sure this doesn't leak or pump on its own. So I was just like, okay, that to me was kind of silly. So anyway, I usually do, I think, one pump, I want to say. But this, again, this is the 4N2. And we're going to do, I don't know what that was, 1.5. So that's going to go over here. I am really curious. So thank you for being here with me to just see what they both look like. I've never done a side-by-side with these two foundations. And this is the 4W. Oh, you know it's locked. See, it wouldn't turn. I mean, it wouldn't pump. Okay. Why is that doing that? Okay, here it is. So I think we did the same amount. If we need more, we'll do more. And I'm just really curious because the warm is golden and the neutral is more beige. But because of my skin, you see up here, my chin is the same, but here it leans neutral. And my under eyes are just doing their own thing. I do have a concealer for both of them. The concealers correspond with the foundation shades. And so this is the 4W. And it says medium deep warm. This is the 4N, which says medium deep neutral. And so both of these are medium deep, but one is warm and one is neutral. And so I like how they have the numbers there for you if you're not sure what concealer shade to get. It corresponds with your foundation shade. And so I really do appreciate that from that brand. And their concealers say to put the concealer on over your foundation. And so that's what we're going to do. So this is the 4W1. So I'm going to put this brush over here. If I was ambidextrous, I probably said that wrong. I would just do them both at the same time, but I'm not. My brows are done with the Fenty brow pencil. So looking at both of the colors in my beautiful air vent, this is 4N. This is the 4W. So they don't look much different. This is just a little bit lighter. This is a little more beigey. So we're going to dip this in. I'm gonna do under eye first because that's where I feel like I need, well, not feel like, but I want more coverage. And so we're just going to stipple that first. These are the Lethal brushes. I do really like the foundation brushes, and they've been holding up really well. Like no creaks from the ferrule, no shedding. The blush brushes, they're both shedding on me every time I use them. The powder brushes, they are staining, and I don't want to be too rough with them to get all of the product out. So I'm just like, okay, this is what it's going to be. So again, this is the 4N2 Spiced Sand. I have forgotten. I haven't used this in so long because I've been using up the Fenty, and the Fenty is almost used up, which I'm really excited about. And I do think I'm going to stick it out with the 4W from Rare Beauty, but I doubt that I would purchase another one. The 470, I recently did a video, it should be aired before this one, and I was asking if you all wanted to see a side-by-side of the 370N and the 460W. The 460W, I can make it work, but I definitely have to use either a bronzer or a contour for the perimeter of my face. And so I was just curious about what these two look like. I had forgot how much I like this finish. And this is a full coverage foundation, but it's not thick. It doesn't feel like anything is sitting on my face. And it did cover my under eye discoloration. It did cover, well, some of the redness like right here. This eye is the darker side. This right here and this is for my glasses. But the discoloration in general for my under eye is right here. So we're going to see what the 4W looks like. This is really nice. I forgot. And you know what? I think part of me remembered how much I liked it. And that's why I didn't want to open it when I had a lot of the Fenty left, because the POA on the Fenty one is 12 months and it is like seriously almost used up. So this was the 4N. It's gone. So we're going to dip in not brand new, but clean brush. It was stained, but it's clean. So we're going to tap into that. Same thing. We're going to put some under here. Come up to the forehead. I'm going to stipple it around. And we're going to see what it does. So yes, it is warmer. And I'm realizing that warmer means yellow. Because even though I'm warm, I don't consider myself yellow. And if you're struggling with what your undertone is, sometimes you just have to just know what it is. Well, once you learn what it is and not really go by foundations. Because some foundations, I'm like peach undertone. I'm like, I know I'm not, well, I guess I could be in some places. And I do know my face is not all one undertone. And so it can be confusing. But for both of these, for me to be able to wear all year round, you can go by what the undertone of the shadow, not the shadow, the foundation is. And so this side is a little more golden. So this would be more so towards the winter. But then, as I said, I have not been really getting any sun. I'm still social distancing. And so that's the 4W1. So this is interesting for me to see. And so the 4W1, actually to me, this does look like the Rare Beauty 360. And so looking at this, it's not far off. Like if I wore this out, someone may think it's just a lighting. But knowing that we use two different shades, we can see a difference. This side is definitely brighter, more golden. This side is more neutral. I'm just trying to make this line straight right here. And I don't have any really on my nose. So these are what these two look like. And so you can see why if I put bronzer or contour, I can still just use this all year round. 4N2, 4W1. And I like how you can still see my natural contour right here. And it looks like I have like product on, but I don't. It's just my facial structure. So this is what these two look like. And we have not done concealer. This side, I don't even really think like I want to put concealer on. And I can tell the redness under my nose is not as prominent because it used to be where I definitely would put concealer on this area. But I'm actually thinking it's okay. And even this, which is the darker side, which is ironic because we put the lighter foundation over here. But I still think it looks okay. But for the sake of the video, we're going to take some concealer. Let me pull out 2 brushes to blend that out with. Trying to pick similar brushes. I don't know. Okay, these 2. We'll use these 2 because these are the same types of brushes. So we're going to take the 4N, and the thing had broke off. So we're going to take a lipstick applicator. You know, we're going to do the other video separate because, or I could just do a timestamp because this is longer than I thought. We're at about 15 minutes. And so we're going to just put this here. The concealer is thick. I don't remember feeling this thick. And my label says this expires September 2024. Estee Lauder stuff lasts long. So if you're like, oh my gosh, the price. If you don't have the 4W1, if you don't have a lot of foundations open, which I have the Fenty and the Rare Beauty, and now I just pumped out these 2, so that starts the light for this one. If you don't have a lot of foundations open, a lot of concealers open, these are really great because they last 24 months after you open it. So you can see this is the 4N. So we're going to pat that out. This is thick, and I think it feels thick because I haven't used it in a long time. So I think I just kind of forgot, but it doesn't feel heavy. And I am going to set it though because this does crease, and so I'm just blending this down. I like how that looks. I had forgot. So this is the 4N side. She look good, I think. Let me know. Is this good or do I look ghastly? I think it looks good. So that brush is going over here with the 4N brush. We're going to take this one and pat this out. I think I put too much over here. Did I put the same as the other side? So as you can tell, this is real time. So if I was really sitting here doing my face, which I am really sitting here doing my face, troll girl, what are you saying? This is the process. And this to me is looking a little light under the eyes. If I wanted to brighten, which I don't, because I don't want to accentuate my under eye area. But this I'm liking because it looks natural, it just blends in. This looks like I'm trying to lighten it. But it goes with the foundation, and the foundation is a lighter foundation. It's warm, where this side is neutral. So, but when I lean back though, I think it looks good. When I'm up close, I think this is too brightening. I think it's too warm for me. And even this area is looking, you can see like my redness coming through, the neutralness, and this area coming through where this side, everything just blends in. So this, I'm learning here because I really wanted to see them side by side. And so thank you for being here for that. So we're going to take, what are we going to take? We're going to take the Fashion Fair Truly Tawny, which is almost done. And the POA on here is 24 months as well. And I am almost finished with this. And this, my label tells me it expires December 2023. And this is May. And we are almost finished with this. I like when stuff lasts long. And it's because I do use it up because I don't have a lot of stuff open at the same time. A lot of different things. This is my only loose setting powder that I have open right now. Like seriously. This is the 4N brush. So we're just patting that. And this is the 4W brush. We're patting that. And then we're just going to take this brush. Woohoo! And we're going to press this first under the eye. Because this concealer will crease because I have wrinkles. And then, even though I didn't put concealer here, we're going to do this. But we're going to put the powder all over because we're going to... I like how this looks, y'all. And to me, they do look the same. This is a little bit lighter. But you see why I say I can wear either one all year round. Because even though it's a little bit lighter, it doesn't look like, oh, girl. Even though back here, it's not matching down here, which is what I was saying about, I think it was the 470 from Rare Beauty. It was like very obvious. And even the 360 as well until I put on the bronzer. But we are going to do all of that. So this is still the Fashion Fair. We're just going to set the face because then we're going to put on, actually I think we'll use the LYS bronzer, which to me I use as a contour because it's cool tone. And for me, contours need to be cool tone, and bronzers I prefer to be warm tone. And so I found it ironic that it says it's a bronzer, and for me it's cool tone, and for me I need a, that just made me look more golden. Oh, okay. I'm like, what's happening here? So we're going to, ooh, okay. And I have things in a way that if you move one thing, other stuff may fall over. Like everything is in its home. So that is that. So what we're going to do now is the LYS. This is No Limits Matte Bronzer. The shade is Courage, and in parentheses it says tan. So we're going to take, do I want a more dense brush than this? I don't know. Let's just use this brush. The powder brush was a lethal brush. This is a lethal contour brush. And so this is what this looks like. So we're going to do that. And we're going to put that there. Put that there. Bring it here. Tap across. And then we're going to tap the other side. And usually when I do contour or bronzer as contour, I do start in the corner and then tap towards the center, because I want to make sure I'm getting there. So we're going to put this here in that hollow. We're going to bring this here, this part by the ear. And we're going to come down under the chin. And so we're going to go back in. We're going to put some more and come down. So now we're going to just blend. And take some more, put that here, come down. And blend. Take a little bit more, put right here on the chin, and whatever's on the brush, just a little bit right there, even though we don't have foundation on our nose. And so if you've ever heard someone say the 3E method, this is a 3 depending on what angle or which way you see the video, and the other side would be an E. So when you hear them say apply bronzer or contour as a 3E, that's what they mean, because one side is a letter E and the other side is a number 3. So that's what they mean if you've ever heard the 3E method. And so looking at it now, this side here is still a little bit lighter, but it's not like, what? And with the contour, it does now look like it's one body. The face matches the body. If it doesn't, let me know. Like seriously, I will not be offended. And when I do ask questions, I actually do really want honest answers. And so if it's looking ghastly on the 4W side and it's looking like the face doesn't go with the neck over here, let me know that, because I'm thinking it does, but I know that I can be wrong. I will say though, I do think the 4N is better, but I don't think this is horrible. I think this can pass. And for those of you who love that 4W, I mean the 3W Rare Beauty, I have a feeling you would say like this side looks awesome too. But I do have to definitely use bronzer with it. I'm not sure about the under eye because I used a concealer, but this side still looks dark. And this is the darker side right here. And I still see that same patch of darkness right there. But we're going to try to fix that too. Yeah, I'm not going to do the look in this video because this is more detailed and intense and longer than I thought it was going to be. So we're going to take a blush. What blush am I going to grab? You know, I'm not going to grab a blush. I'm going to grab the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette Volume 2. I am going to end up taking a brush. This is fraying. This is a Jabonese brush. I haven't used these yet. I think it's how I had it and another brush was pulling it down. Like you see these hairs right here? Probably not. You see those hairs right here? You know what? I'm not going to use those. And I'm not going to use those because I haven't used them before. And so I don't know what to expect. And so I'm going to use brushes that I know what to expect. So we're going to take, this is Radiant Light. This one is the one in the middle. These are both Fenty brushes. And we're going to tap under the eyes. I have been loving this under my eyes. And I did it by accident because I have been using soft light for under my eyes. And I did Radiant Light this one once by mistake, and I'm like, you know, my under eyes are looking different, but then I like it because it does camouflage my under eye discoloration. So now we're just going to take this and swirl it around. I did purchase one of these as a single, so I can use this with a brush this size, the same as with the dim light that I also purchased in a single for when I do my entire face, and I won't have to keep going back in. First world problems when you just want stuff to be more convenient. But I didn't open Radiant Light yet first, because I think I'm gonna put this one in my Macquarie, because I have a single of dim light and now I have a single of this one that I didn't open yet. So this is in my Macquarie, or it will be if you're interested in this. So you see what that looks like. And now we're going to take this one, which is Golden Bronze Light. And so this is a clean Fenty brush. And we're just going to, ooh, I really do like this one though. I don't think they had this in a single. And if they did, I wouldn't get it. Because if that was the case, even though I wanted this one bigger and I already have a bigger one of this one, to have the bigger one of the bronze one, that would just be ridiculous. Because the price is not cheap on these. I do get them when they're on sale. But I really do like this. I really, really do like this powder. It's just something with the Hourglass powders. It took me a long time to try them because I didn't want to like them because they're not inclusive. But then when I did try them, I was like, oh man, I done did it now. I done messed up now. So I hate that I love them. But it's just something about, I don't know if it's just, they're just really finely milled or what. And even though they all have shimmers to it, it's not obnoxious. Like, look at that. Do you see that? It is not obnoxious at all. So we're going to put that brush down. And so still just look and see, like, is there a difference with the foundations? You know what I'm saying? We're going to go into... let me hold it in. The Hourglass. And we're just going to go into this here as a highlighter. And we're going to just put that right here. So we used the bronzing powder as a blush is really what we did. And we're putting this here. So this is my Hourglass. This is setting and bronzer and highlight situation. So this is, I mean, I hate that I love them. I hate that I love them. Seriously. So we're going to go back with this brush. And we are also going to take dim light. This is the brush we use for the Fashion Fair powder. And finishing powders are powders you use to finish off your entire face. So after everything is done, you finish it with the finishing powder. Finishing powders are separate than setting powders. A setting powder is designed to set your foundation. A finishing powder is to finish your entire face after everything is done, minus eye makeup. So this is what we have here. So I'm pulling this down so you can see the neck. And I always turn because the neck here is different than down here. And so instead of just looking at the chin and then down here, when you turn, it's like a different visual. You see what I'm saying? Because then you can see how the colors migrate. But so let me know. I love these foundations. I'm going to click them both locked and put the little cat back on. So these are going to be in the rotation now, especially because the Fenty one is just about gone. The 360 in the Rare W, the Rare Beauty. This says it expires February 2024. This Fenty one says it expires 10/2023. But I've been using it almost exclusively. And it's like down to here. Let me see if I can see a space. Yeah, this is like down to here. I opened this in October. This is May. So November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So 7 months is down to here. So this, if this was your only foundation, I'm sure you would use it in a year. And having both of these open, I do use them both up in a year. So if you only have one foundation, most are 1 fluid ounce. It will take you It may take you a year to get through it, depending on if you use 1 pump, 2 pumps, or 3. But for me, I typically do go through an ounce of foundation in a year because I don't have a lot of foundations open. So now I'll be adding these into the mix, especially after this one is empty. And this is the only other one open. So these are the only foundations that I'm using right now. That's it. And the 370N, which I do really think I'm going to take back. Because if I have to make it work, I'll just do this one. I do really like the finish of this, though. I love the finish of the Fenty one. These two, you saw the finish. And even though these are full coverage, you saw how it looked. You saw how it looked. So you let me know. Thinking back to before I started, thinking back to when I did this half, and then I did this half, let me know which one you prefer for this time of year with me having minimal sun in the last 3 years. So this is the 2 inside. This side. This side with one finger is the 4W1. Let me know, thinking back to just having both sides, before I put on the bronzers and the powders, which side to you looked more like me when you take into account all of my different tones from my face all the way down to here. So the 2 fingers, the 4 and 2. The 1 finger is the 4W1 side. So let me know. Right now, though, with everything on, I am hard pressed to see a difference. And that's why I always say I can use them both all year round, may or may not need a bronzer. And I am just digging the powders. I'm going to go. Thank you for being here. Let me know if this was helpful, because there are 2 different undertones to the foundations, but then my undertones are different throughout my face. Let me know if it was helpful in that sense to see different undertone foundations, how they both can kind of almost look the same, if not look the same. And also let me know if it was interesting, like just to see the process when, if one is a little too light, if you thought it was, how we balanced everything out. And after everything is said and done, we put the same things on both sides, except for the foundation and concealer. But look how everything looks. Like, to me, it looks the same. To me, it looks the same. So let me know. Thank you for being here. And if you're new here, hello, I see you. I appreciate you. And as always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon.